and welcome to Conservative News. Today we're going to be talking about Alinsky'S rules for radicals. Except what a lot of people don't know is that Alinsky didn't write these rules. Alinsky actually inspired two Columbia University psychologists, Richard Andrew Cloward and Francis Fox Piven, to devise the Cloward and Piven strategy. Because they devised the strategy from the book, that's how it got to be known as the Alinsky rules for radicals. The first rule is to take over healthcare, which is what the Democrats have been doing for the last 20 years. It wasn't until the Obama administration that they were finally able to get Obamacare, or the ACA, Affordable Health Care Act, passed. And that was another step towards basically getting control of the people. If the government controls your health care, you're afraid to turn against them. Then you also will vote for Democrats, because Democrats will promise you anything and deliver nothing. The second rule is increase poverty as much as possible. Look at what happened during the Obama years as these principles were being put in place. Economic growth stagnated. The number of people dropped out of the workforce was the largest in the history of the United States. And everyone who was working was having a hard time keeping employed, and in many cases people were forced to take two jobs. Welfare rolls expanded beyond belief. The amount of people receiving food stamps exploded. The number of people that were being approved for disability just blew up. Everything that related to poverty, those numbers started skyrocketing. And they stayed that way almost entirely through the Obama administration. The third rule, increase the debt to an unsustainable level. That way they're able to increase taxes, and this will produce more poverty. The whole idea behind what the Democrats are offering America is everyone to be equal. But what they won't tell you is that everyone will be equally poor. Everyone will be on welfare. Everyone will be beholden to the government. And everyone will vote to keep those dollars increasing. Look at Europe. You have poverty. You have enormous numbers of people on the dole, either retired or unable to find work, and as a result the government gives them a paycheck. And that's the reason the Democrats, the socialists in Europe, have such strong control. Number 4 is remove the ability to defend themselves from the government. They want to take your guns. What have the Democrats been trying to do forever? Take guns away from the people. Every incremental step that they can make to slowly remove those guns, they have done it. We as a people will not be able to defend ourselves from a totalitarian government if we allow our guns to be taken away. That is what the government is all about. Let them have the guns, take them away from the people. Look at Europe, where heavy gun control laws are everywhere. Look at the UK, gun control laws, no one has a gun. But is the murder rate dropping? No. What you're seeing now is machete attacks. There are also shootings, but they're not reported. You know why? Because guns are illegal, and they don't want you to know that criminals still have guns. They buy them on the black market at very high prices. It's only the law-abiding citizens that lose their guns, and they don't go to the black market to buy another one. Rule number 5, welfare. Take control of every aspect of their lives: food, housing, income. Welfare delivers an incredibly low standard of living, but if you want to be lazy and all you want to do is eat and get fat, I guess it's okay. But once you're on welfare, are you going to vote for a Republican who will cut it, or are you going to vote for a Democrat who might give you an increase? The Democrats will endlessly tell you they're going to raise your standard of living. Well, the problem is there's no money to do that. So all they really end off doing is raising taxes and creating more poverty, and then there's less money to go around. Number 6, take control of what people read and listen to. How long has it been since we had a media that didn't blast the left-wing bias? All of them are socialists, and as a result, they view all news through the eyes of a socialist, and that's what they deliver us. They've taken over education. That's the reason our children, conservative children, come out of college completely brainwashed that socialism is the only way to go. And yet, look at every country that has been dominated by the Marxist philosophy. There's bread lines, there's no water, there's no toilet paper, you can't get food. And the people making the money are all connected to government. In Venezuela, the army, who delivers the water to the state stores, doesn't deliver the water there. As a result, it's sold on the black market, and then it's sold to the people at ridiculous prices. And the person that made the big money, that was the general that was in charge of distributing that water to the state stores. Is that what we want in America? We want Marxism? We want socialism? I don't think so. Number 7, religion. Remove the belief in God from the government and schools. That has been accomplished. And what have we done? We've taken morality out of the schools, and then we wonder why our children are immoral. Not all of them. A lot of them do come from God-fearing families, and they have moral values. But there's an awful lot of kids out there that no longer have a moral compass to keep them straight and guide them through life. They don't fear the Lord. They don't fear anything. And when you don't have religion, you don't have anything to hope for other than government to take care of you. That's the reason religion needs to be removed, because it puts the burden of care in the person's mind squarely on the government. And big government means big programs, which means lots of Democrats. Number 8, class warfare. Divide the people into wealthy and poor. This will cause more discontent, and it will be easier to tax the wealthy with the support of the poor. But they're going beyond that now. Now, every single person in America has been broken into a class of individual. There's the whites, the yellows, the reds, all these different groups. You've got the LGBT groups. Everyone's been broken into a group and told that you're repressed, and you're repressed by the white male. So even the white male is now a monster. So there are no good people according to socialists in America. We're all either the repressed or we're the monsters repressing, and the media enforces this every day. The socialists use violence. There's a doctrine that they talk about which is bottom up. And bottom up means that you excite violence at the bottom so that the people will scream to the government for answers. What we're seeing in America right now is the classification of everyone so that everyone has become an enemy. The government, the media, have all come together to try to create an enormous number of factions, to create war, to create violence. Look at Antifa in the Democratic Party, going from one city to another with no other reason other than there's going to be a conservative meeting someplace, and they go and attack it. They don't want conservatives to have a voice. The Democratic Party, in order to be able to spew socialism at America, screamed First Amendment rights, freedom of speech. And yet today we see every possible opportunity that is made to destroy speech. In other words, you either buy our ideals, everything that we accept, or you're a racist, or you're a homophobe, or you're a Nazi, or you're some terrible person that needs to be removed from the face of the earth. Democrats nationwide have been told, don't serve a conservative. If somebody comes in with a MAGA hat, make America great again. Explain to me how that's bad. Okay, that's a racist hat. Why? Because it's conservative values that it's preaching. It's not going to take us to socialism, and that's what this whole war is all about. When you look at Alinsky'S list, which isn't really Alinsky, it's Bevins and Piven, what you see is 7 of the 8 are already in play, and number 8 has been expanded to include everyone. The entire country, to the media's eyes, to the Democrats' eyes, has been fractured into little groups, and they preach hate between those groups every day. You know, when you go to a conservative walks through a liberal rally, if someone figures out that they're conservative, they'll have blood on their face. Yet when a liberal comes to a conservative rally, they walk away scot-free. They walk away unharmed. The media, the one incidence that a Democrat actually gets hurt, it's played over and over for days to make it look like the left and the right are both bad guys. But I'll tell you something, the people that I know here in my city that are conservative, they're very tolerant of others. They don't care if there's a gay couple sitting at the table next to them. They don't care the color of someone's skin, whether they're Asian or African. They just don't care. They're living their own life, and they're doing it the best they can. Another big, big difference between the Socialist Party, which is the Destroy America Party, is patriotism. Every conservative I know loves this country, only wants the best for this country, because the better this country does, the better our children are off. And the better and happier our children can be, the better we feel about what we left behind. But when you go to the Democratic Party, all you see is spit on the flag, burn it. You see people refusing to be proud of America. Why? Because history is being rewritten, and we're supposed to believe this history, that all of our founders created a monstrously terrible country, and we have been the oppressors of the world. And yet when you look at communism, which is what they're really trying to bring, socialism is the other name for it, Marxism is the core. Look at the countries that have been ruled by that type of a system. When they go to help another country, they fight a war and they keep the country. For the United States' 200 years, we have never kept a country that we have gone and fought for. Even in Afghanistan and Iraq, we walk away and we leave a local government. Look at the former Soviet Socialist Republic. What did they do? They captured every one of those countries that they helped. What was that any better than being a German? I don't think so. But what's funny is in America, you're no longer allowed to speak the truth. The Democrats did everything they could to repress blacks in this country. And yet blacks are a staunch voting bloc that believes that all of the racists ran to the Republican Party. And yet, when you look through the period that the Democrats were attacking the blacks, trying not to let them into their schools, what do you see? You see that they all remained Democrats, and all they did was come up with a lie and sold it, and the media helped them. So history is no longer history in America. We now believe our founding fathers weren't great. They were flawed, terrible people who shouldn't have been in charge. But, you know, that's what happened, and America's such a bad country. That's why we ended off with that. I'm sorry, you know. July 4th, we just celebrated it. Separation from the British and became our own country. That's a wonderful thing, and I'm proud of this country. And I'm going to die proud of this country. And I cry at times when I think about all of the crazy things that my poor son is going to have to go through as he goes through this politically correct socialist world where everyone is forced to hate everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, just be aware that everything that is in the Bevins and Piven rules is taking place in America. And it's not for the betterment of our country. It's not for the betterment of the people. It's for sending power to those in Washington. Our founding fathers warned against a powerful government, a powerful federal government. They warned against a federal bench that took power away from the Congress. They warned about all these things, but they also said that human nature would probably drive us there. And in this case, it's not even human nature. It's just a bunch of very wealthy people who are mega billionaires who know that they will never be poor, they have too much money, and they decided that the Marxist route was right for America. So they've been doing everything they can to only promote people who believe the same as them into high positions in government, into high positions in corporate America. That's why we're seeing all of this Google and YouTube and everywhere else. All this, if you're conservative, your voice should not be heard. But if you're a liberal, we're going to fund you, we're going to make sure you get paid, and we're going to make sure you get taken care of. Ladies and gentlemen, that's as far as I'm going to go on this subject in this particular video. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and if you've enjoyed what you've heard, please like and subscribe. We invite everyone to the table, white, black, LGBT, you name it, you're welcome. You guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video.